Hello there, it's Tom and Magnolia here for Gunnerkrigg Court, Chapter 78, Behind It All.
Hi there.
So this chapter is what would be the beginning of the 9th book.
Yes.
And we're beginning with Kat sort of catching up with Path.
And she has a new haircut here.
She does, yeah. She was kind of inspired by Erd from the previous chapter, so probably about time for Kat to get her hair cut a bit short. It was getting a bit long, I think.
Did you know you were going to do that when you designed the hair, or was it a spur-of-the-moment thing?
No, I did, yeah. And, Kat tends to get a bit mopey when her hair is longer, so it was about time she gets it cut again. And she just catches up with her girlfriend here because she's been a little distant, and the events of the previous chapter and helping Annie and resolving that stuff is what has helped Kat kind of move on, I guess, and, get back to her normal self.
And Kat and Path have been going out for at least a year now, right? I think we discussed this before, but...
Yeah, it's been a decent while now.
Yeah.
I guess the passing of the years is sort of up in the air now with the structure of the school being in disarray, along with the rest of the court. But yeah, it's been a while now.
So Kat's bringing up here that Path confronted the two Annies.
A couple chapters ago, yeah. And this is sort of to show that it's not exactly a big deal, and more that Annie knows that it was coming from a place of concern for Kat, not for anger at the Annies,
And I have a hard time imagining Annie would come to Kat and be like, I can't believe what your girlfriend did, and be like really mad about it.
Well, exactly, yeah. Like, for better or for worse, that sort of confrontation kind of rolls off Annie's back. It's not that big of a deal to her. But it is something that Path is sort of embarrassed about.
Do you think if Kat saw exactly what happened between them and not just Annie's version of it, do you think she would be more upset with Path?
That's an interesting question. I guess if Kat was there, she'd be, like, her first instinct would be complete, conflict resolution and try to de-escalate everything, but then ultimately feel bad that she was the reason why her friends are, quarreling.
Right.
So I guess it's kind of lucky that she didn't see that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I wanted to give the impression that Annie didn't exactly give, like, an unfavourable account of what happened.
Exactly, so Path got off pretty lucky this time.
Yeah, she did so far.
I also like on this page, though, that it seems like Path still doesn't exactly, love Annie, and I like that because not everybody's going to be friends. It doesn't mean you have to be jerks to everybody, but it doesn't seem like she likes Annie very much still.
Well, I wouldn't say that she doesn't not like Annie. I mean, but they are classmates, and they have been for a while now, and I guess she can identify some of the flaws that Annie has, one of them being that she can be a little oblivious, which is putting it diplomatically, I think.
And, Kat's very close to her, and I imagine she does feel a little bit of jealousy over that.
Yeah, but I did have this here to show that Path is sort of concerned that she doesn't want to seem like she's coming between the two of them.
Yeah, of course.
But it also does bring to light a little bit that sometimes it's Kat herself, the way that she deals with her emotional situations that can make the situation worse, really. And for Kat in particular, when she starts to close herself off, it doesn't really lead to resolution, at least until she's in a better emotional state, and then she's able to deal with things and feel better about herself and work towards just feeling better about things,
Yeah.
And so the two girls reconcile a bit, and the chapter ends on a nice note. Except, I guess, for this jerk yelling about something. That quickly comes and goes. And we're back to the Annies meddling around.
So what's going on here exactly?
Well, Annie and Annie have concocted a plan to try and get Annie to talk to her dad, pretending to be Annie. Because for whatever reason, Tony has an easier time talking to the Annie that came from the forest than he does with the one with the shorter hair.
Right. The
one who's lived with him for longer, technically, at this stage.
She looks cute with her hair tied back like that.
Yeah, sometimes I like to have her with her hair tied back. I guess that's all she could think of to try and disguise the fact that she has short hair.
Yeah.
And so Tony is just messing around on the computer and unfortunately is just not able to, converse with Annie at all.
And it's not like this is being presented as, that Tony's great with people and a great with good father skills and stuff. He's obviously struggling with that quite a bit.
Yeah, because this is something that will be outright looked at in the comic very soon. I did want to start to show that it's an issue for him, it's beyond just him being a jerk, let's say, or beyond kind of rude behavior. Like, it seems to be very strange, abnormal behavior in his case.
Yeah, something that's not just him choosing to be dismissive. He just can't do it.
Yeah, but at least, despite all this, he has good computer etiquette and Windows L before he leaves.
What does that do?
He logs out of his Windows.
Oh, I see.
Because you can't have anyone looking at your spreadsheets, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, so their plan doesn't work. And at first it seems like, the short-haired Annie would be kind of upset by it, but it shows that she at least recognized that he was trying to make an effort, as measly as it sounds, and obviously Renard isn't too impressed with the effort that Tony put in. But it's sort of mirroring the previous scene with Cat and Path, where it's just sort of catching up a little bit, showing the situation of where the characters are at this point in the story. And also, for me, sort of giving a hint as to the tone of the book going forward for the next few chapters.
I also think that even though it would suck to have a parent who really can't communicate with you, it is sort of a relief to learn that it's not something you're doing wrong, but something that they are struggling with themselves,
Sure, and that is something that I do want to bring to the fore. And for a long time, obviously, Annie, she did feel that it was probably something that was about her that makes him act in that certain way. And here, now that we're able to see this unique situation of him acting differently to different versions of herself, we're starting to see that maybe there's something a bit more behind it. But then we're interrupted once more by this jerk who's rolling around.
Poor Zimmy.
Yeah, well, she doesn't do herself any favors. So we leave her to it, and we get to this other jerk who is sitting around, I guess, in his jaws. And here, this part of the chapter, again, it is catching up with Lou and his thoughts, I guess, and him sort of meditating over things and letting us know where he is. It's a sort of a symbolic look at his thought processes, I guess, and I was trying to think of a way of showing him doing things without actually doing anything, if you know what I mean. He's sort of sorting through thoughts in his mind, and because of the kind of creature that he is, he's, probably affecting the things around him in ways that would be very strange. And I was trying to depict that in a symbolic way, but also keep things moving and changing. I'd imagine if this was an animated sequence, everything around him would be, melting into each other and floating around and that kind of thing.
Well, I was actually thinking when I was rereading the chapter this morning that I felt like I could imagine it animated pretty well, so you did a good job there. But I do want to point out that he says on that page that he now recognizes the terrible end that Coyote has planned for him, whereas previously when Coyote told him that he would die, he rejected that pretty hard. So I guess this is showing that at some point he's come to accept that part.
Yeah, and I guess the way I see it is whenever Lou reclaims one of these artifacts and gets a chunk of his memories back, he's sort of overloaded with all this information, and he's very indignant and he rejects it, as you say. And then there's a period like this where he's sorting through it all, and he's trying to put things together. And through all this, he's still very frustrated at the fact that he has all these pieces and he can't quite see what they're supposed to make at the end.
Right.
But he does come across a notion that sticks out to him, and it turns out to be this word, omega. And at the same time, that notion seems to call out to our yelling jerk here and ends the chapter.
Interesting.
I hope so. I hope it's interesting. Mm-hmm. And going forward through what will be the 9th book, and for the next few chapters, we'll be basically diving into all that stuff. And in the meantime, Tony is out checking his little weather station like a huge nerdlinger, and it's just a little character moment, a little glimpse as to his mental state from the previous scene.
Poor guy.
And that's that. Come back again for chapter 79, Find Yourself.
Bye.